Episode 1. Andie's Disappearance. This book adaptation starts off mysterious with a young teenage girl, Andie Bell, walking home with a decent-sized cut on the back of her head. And the next scene jumps 5 years later, and we meet Pippa Fitz-Amobi, who likes to go by the name Pip. Pip is with her friends, but notices a portrait of Andie Bell on the street, and it's clear that Andie was never seen again after that night 5 years ago, and it still haunts the town. When Pip gets home, she tells her parents she is going to do her EPQ school project on Andie Bell's disappearance because she doesn't think the true story is out there. Andie's boyfriend at the time, Sal Singh, ended his life 3 days after Andie went missing, and everyone chalked it up as him killing her, and then he couldn't live with the guilt. Sal and Andie were 5 years older than Pip, but Pip knew Sal pretty well, and she doesn't think he could have ever killed anyone, let alone the girl he was in love with. But all the evidence pointed towards him, so everyone thinks he did it. Pip wants to find out the truth while doing it as a research project for school. Pip even makes a murder board, and she's going to question everyone she can. The first person Pip goes to interview is Sal's younger brother, Ravi, who isn't interested in reliving those terrible memories. He's like the town pariah because everyone thinks his brother was a murderer. Pip then goes to her friend Kara's house and interviews Kara's sister Naomi, who was best friends with Sal back in the day, along with their other friends Max and Jake. Pip interviews Naomi, and Naomi tells her they were all together the Friday night Andie went missing, and Sal left around 10:30 p.m., which is around the time Andie went missing. A few days later, Pip caters a party that Max's family is hosting, but when she tries to question Max about Sal's alibi that night, Max doesn't remember much. Max thinks Sal did it, because why else would he end his life a few days later? The following day, Pip goes back to Ravi's house and tells him she is doing this as her project as she believes Sal is innocent, and she wants to clear his name. Ravi decides to help out as he wants the same thing. Ravi shows Pip Sal's phone and how he doesn't believe the confession was written by Sal because the text style doesn't match. He thinks someone else sent the message on Sal's phone. Pip takes the phone home to look at it some more, and she learns that Sal was asking Andie to stop doing something earlier in the day she disappeared. The episode ends with a flashback showing Andie apologizing to Sal in the woods that fateful day. Episode 2. Her Secret Life. This episode starts off with Pip interviewing Emma Hutton, who was one of Andie's best friends back in high school. Emma states that she never saw Sal and Andie fight and was just as shocked when she learned he confessed to the murder. When Pip gets home, her mother tells her that the Bell family requested Pip not try to speak with them as they don't want to relive the death of Andie any more than they already have, and Pip agrees not to. Pip then meets up with Ravi, and he tells her about another friend of Andie's by the name of Nat Da Silva. But he believes they had a falling out right before Andie's death because a naughty photo of Nat made its way around school, and Nat thought Andie was to blame for it. Pip then goes over to Kara's house to hang out, and as Pip and Kara are talking, Naomi overhears them talking about Nat, and Naomi warns Pip that Nat is not someone to mess with. Kara and Naomi's father, Elliot Ward, then arrives, and he is like a second father to Pip, and they are all close. Elliot invites Pip to Naomi's tennis match the next day. At the tennis match, Pip finds Nat and questions her about Andie, and Nat tells Pip that Andie was sleeping with an older guy, but never met him. Nat's brother and police officer, Daniel Da Silva, then shows up and picks Nat up to take her home, and Pip realizes that he was the first officer on the scene the night the police arrived at Andie's house to look for any clues. That weekend, Pip and her friends all go camping, but Pip receives a strange note that says, "Stop digging, Pippa," and she has no idea who could have done this. She keeps it to herself for now, though. A few days later, Ravi and Pip hang out and discuss the case, and Pip tells him she believes Daniel Da Silva could be the older guy Andie was hooking up with. The two then set a meet with Nat again, and Nat says that Andie got real secretive right before her disappearance, and also tells Pip that Andie and Max Hastings knew each other more than they let on. Max told Pip he never really knew her. Later, Pip then goes to Max's house to confront him, and she finds a naughty picture of Andie in Max's room, and Max says he found it at school. It wasn't sent to him by her. Max also tells Pip that Andie was dealing drugs, and he believes that's what Sal was begging her to stop doing in those messages. Pip then goes on the hunt for this drug dealer she was dealing for. Episode 3. A Different World. Pip goes to a party with her friends in hopes of finding this drug dealer. At the party, Pip notices a boy named Dylan doing drugs, and she asks Dylan where she can get more. Dylan takes her to a man named Howie, who is the dealer she's been looking for, and Pip asks Howie if she can ask him a few questions in private. Howie tells her that Andie often purchased weed, ketamine, and rohypnol that she would then sell herself for extra cash. Pip is shocked to learn that Andie was selling roofies to kids in town. Howie tells Pip that Andie kept her cash and a second phone hidden from everyone that she used for her drug business, but has no idea where the phone is now. Pip asks Howie if he had anything to do with Andie's disappearance, and he gets really offended, and she leaves before he hurts her. When Pip gets home later that night, she receives a message telling her to stop investigating the case or else. Pip isn't a good listener though, and she adds Howie to her murder board, and then she texts and asks to meet with Ravi. They meet the following day, and she tells him about the burner phone and how she wants to break into the Bell's house and look for the second phone Andie had. Ravi tells her that he will be her lookout. They then go to the house, and Pip gets inside, but only finds little baggies of drugs and no phone to be found. She is almost caught by Andie's younger sister Becca and Daniel, but is able to run out just in time and drive off. Dan does see their license plate as they drive away. Episode 4. New Evidence. Pip and Ravi go through the drugs, and they find a note written inside one of them that lists all of Andie's clients. Pip uncovers that the note was written on a hotel memo pad, and she thinks they should go there for their next lead. They then go to the hotel, but the concierge won't give them any information, so they pull the fire alarm and then sneak into the room they believe Andie was staying in, but don't find any clues inside of it. The following day, Pip gets pulled over by Daniel Da Silva, and he asks why she was breaking into the Bell's house, and then asks to speak with her in private. Pip asks him if he knows anything about Andie's disappearance, and he says he was the first one on the scene that night, and he is absolutely sure that Sal killed Andie. He even shows Pip a video of Sal losing his temper when he was being questioned by the police the day after Andie's disappearance. Pip then for the first time does start to believe Sal is really guilty. Pip meets with Ravi a little later, and she tells him about the interrogation video, and Ravi is saying Sal's actions were justified because he was being accused for something he didn't do, and he still believes his brother is innocent. He then gets mad at her for giving up on Sal, and he angrily leaves. Pip then goes to hang out with Kara and Naomi to get her mind off of things, and Kara persuades her sister to attend her 5-year high school reunion and go have fun. Pip also tells Naomi that she believes Sal has been guilty this whole time, and before Naomi leaves for the party, she tells Pip to look at her computer after she leaves. When Pip looks at her computer, she discovers that Sal is innocent because he was still at Max's house at midnight the night Andie disappeared, and Max, Jake, and Naomi lied to the police about the time that Sal left. Pip then rushes to the reunion to confront Naomi for lying to the police about Sal's alibi. Naomi says someone found out their secret and told them to lie to the police, or else their secret would get out. Episode 5. Confessions. Naomi tells Pip about the secret the blackmailer was using against them. Many years ago, before Sal's death, Jake, Max, and Naomi went out partying together without Sal, and when they were driving home, Max was really drunk and got into an accident with another car, but instead of staying and helping the person in the other car, Max ordered them to get in, and they left the scene of the accident. The blackmailer somehow knew of this and told the three to lie to the police about the time Sal left Max's house that night. Max then walks in on them and begs Pip not to say anything to the police, and she says she will destroy him for ruining Sal's life. Pip gets back to Kara's house and tells her the story, and Kara is sad because her sister will get in big trouble if Pip tells the truth. But Pip says she won't do that to her, and she will find another way to prove Sal's innocence. When Pip gets home, she receives another threatening text telling her to let the case go, but she doesn't want to give in. The following day at her brother's party, she can't find her dog Barney anywhere and is sad that he may be lost. Pip is heartbroken when she finds Barney dead in the middle of the road, and she believes the blackmailer did this as they warned her to stop digging. Now Pip wants to uncover the truth even more because she doesn't want Barney's death to be for nothing, and whoever did this deserves to go down. The following day, Pip gets a call from a number she saved as secret older guy from Andie's phone, and she is shocked to hear Naomi's voice on the other end of the line. Pip asks Naomi where this SIM card came from, and Naomi says it was her dad's backup and hers was lost. Elliot Ward, Kara and Naomi's father, was the older man hooking up with Andie. Pip then goes over to their house, and she looks at Elliot's printer history and finds the note, "Stop digging Pippa," that she received earlier in the season. He has been the one threatening her. Pip then learns that Elliot has a second house that he never sold, and she goes to the address and confronts him about everything. Elliot confesses to hooking up with Andie, and the night of her disappearance, they did get in a fight, and she hit her head, but then left his house right afterwards. He then says he found her a week later roaming the streets and kidnapped her, so she couldn't tell anyone what happened. The only problem is, the girl he picked up wasn't Andie, It was some random chick that he thought was Andie and has been holding her captive ever since. Episode 6. Who Killed Andie? Season Finale. Pip talks to the girl that Elliot thought was Andie, and she says her name is Isla, and she has no idea who this Andie chick is. Isla tells Pip all of the stuff that Elliot confessed to her one night he was drunk. Elliot was the one that murdered Sal because he wanted everyone to believe Sal killed Andie. He knew Andie left his house that night with a really bad head injury, and when she was reported missing the following day, Elliot thought she was dead and he killed her. He then learned Sal was a suspect for the police, so he took him out into the woods, gave him a bunch of pills and killed him, but made it look like Sal did it to himself. Elliot learned from Naomi's journals the hit-and-run accident she and her friends had, and he used that to blackmail them into lying to the police about Sal's alibi. Isla found all of this out from him, but since she knew the truth, he wouldn't let her leave, and he's been holding her captive in the attic for 5 years. Luckily, the police arrive to the scene and Elliot is arrested and taken into custody, and now everyone in town knows that Sal was innocent, and he was a victim in all of this just like Andie was. Pip is still confused how Andie died and where her body is because she was alive after she left Elliot's house, and she was never seen again. Pip meets up with Javi and he thanks her for everything she did. At home later, Pip is a little upset because she ruined her best friend's life by outing Elliot as a murderer, but Kara doesn't blame Pip. She blames her father. Pip goes to see Elliot in prison, and he still claims he didn't kill Andie, and he also didn't kill Pip's dog Barney, and that person is still out there and free. Pip then goes back on the hunt for Andie's killer, and she learns that Becca was sexually assaulted by Max one night whenever he roofied her drink. Becca found out that Max bought the drugs from her own sister Andie, and this aggravated her. Pip then puts it all together, and she goes to talk to Becca Bell. That night Andie left Elliot's house. She made it home, but got in a fight with Becca because Becca confronted Andie about selling the drugs to Max and aiding in her assault. Becca pushed Andie down, and since she already had a concussion, the blow to the head killed her. Becca is about to kill Pip for now knowing the truth, but Ravi and Kara are able to find her and save her before Becca could kill her. The story then jumps to present day with Pip showing her EPQ to everyone, and she solved the murder she set out to do. Pip and Ravi end up dating, and then Pip outs Max as a serial assaulter to the public, which will be addressed in Season 2. And that is it for Season 1 of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Hopefully a Season 2 is on the horizon, as there are 3 books in the series, and all 3 of them are great stories. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.